ইয়ে করতে পারবো না, বেশি নিতে পারবো না, পরে নেক্সট ক্লাস আছে না, আমার 11টা শেষ করতে ফেলতে হবে। Well, good morning, my dear student. Today we'd like to discuss very important chapter, which one is usually we ask in the exam, the pharmacodynamics. Last class I did discuss the important branches of pharmacology. There was first one was the pharmacokinetics, and the second important one was pharmacodynamics. I also did discuss the what is pharmacodynamics, and today we'd like to discuss in details about pharmacodynamics. We'd like to discuss. So what is pharmaco? At first, you know what is pharmacodynamics. So it is the branch of pharmacology that deals with mechanism of action and pharmacological effects of drug. Look, the two important things about there. Number one is mechanism of action. This is how the drug act mechanism, and the pharmacological effects. Pharmacological effects, the two types. One is therapeutic effects or beneficial effect or desired effects. And the which one is therapeutic effect or beneficial or desired? We need this. Consequently, the another effect we usually find the which one is adverse effects or adverse drug reaction. So two things. One is mechanism of action, and next one is pharmacological effect. The pharmacology effect is two types. One is beneficial effects, and other one is adverse effects. So we'll discuss later in details about the adverse effect. Now, the pharmacodynamics has two aspects. There are two aspects. One is qualitative aspects, another one is quantitative aspects. So qualitative aspect deals with the nature of drug action. Receptors, very important, receptors. Then drug receptor interaction, agonist, partial agonist, antagonist, and inverse agonist, and inverse agonist. And next one is quantitative aspects. Quantitative aspects, it deals with dose and response of drugs. It deals with two things. One is dose and response of drugs. So first one, we like to know which one is qualitative aspects. Qualitative aspect. So qualitative aspect, if you like to know about qualitative aspect, we have to know the drug receptor. It's very important for the exam. Remember, what is drug receptor? We usually ask in the exam, what is drug receptor? Classify drug receptor. And the most important one is we usually ask the classification of receptor according to molecular structure and signal transduction mechanism. So now, what is the receptor? Remember, it's very, very important. You have to memorize the definition to understand. The receptor is a functional macromolecular component of cell that interacts with drug and initiates the chain of biological events leading to observed effect. Leading to observed effect. After giving the drug, after giving the drug with binds the interacts with or binds with the receptor and initiates the chain of biological events. There are the events of initiate change of biological events leading to observed effect. We get the response. So by you get the response. So it's very important, it's a functional macromolecular component of cell. Either maybe in the cell, in the cell cytoplasm or cell membrane or nucleus that interacts with the drug and initiates the chain of biological events leading to observed effects. Now the classification of receptors. Classification of receptors. Number one, according to location. According to location. And number two, classification of receptor according to activity. Then classification of receptor according to, I told you earlier, the according to signal transduction mechanism. Classification of receptor according to molecular structure and signal transduction mechanism. And again, the classification of receptor is functional classification of receptor. So there are the four types important receptor classifications. So first one we like to start the which one is first according to location. The some receptor remain in the cell membrane, like muscarinic receptor. You know later on what is muscarinic receptor. Then some receptor remain in the cytoplasm, like steroid receptor. Then some receptor remain in the nucleus, like thyroid receptor. So is the according to location. So one in the cell membrane, then with cytoplasm, then in the nucleus. Then classify receptor according to activity, pharmacological or active receptor, spare or reserved receptor, silent or dead receptor. So according to activity, pharmacological receptor or active receptor play important role in the drug action, like adrenoceptor. Later on what is adrenoceptor, like alpha receptor, beta receptor. Then reserved receptor same as pharmacological receptor, but they don't act normally. They act only in pharmacological receptors when they are become exhausted or blocked. Then this pair receptor act, like 90% of the beta receptor in case of heart. The silent or dead receptor, drug binds with this receptor without producing any response. They act as storage site and prolong the pharmacological effects. That is plasma protein. This is very important, the classification of receptor according to molecular structure and signal transduction mechanism. Usually we ask in the exam, remember, you have to memorize these four type of receptor according to molecular structure and signal transduction mechanism. Number one, type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. So type 1 is called ion channel coupled receptor. Ion channel coupled receptor or ligand gated ion channel, like nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. In details in when you read the chronology agonist drug, there are receptors about that. Here the two type of drug. One is muscarinic, one is nicotinic. Here the type 1, that is ion channel coupled receptor. The example is nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. Gamma amino butyric acid A, that is GABA A receptor. Then type 2, G protein coupled receptor, like muscarinic acetylcholine receptor, adrenoceptor. Then type 3, tyrosine kinase linked receptor. The enzyme tyrosine kinase linked receptor. As for example, insulin receptor. And the type 4, last one, is the intracellular receptor, that is steroid receptor and thyroid receptors. They are the intracellular receptor. So, the four important: type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Type 1 for ion channel coupled receptor, type 2 G protein coupled receptor, and type 3 tyrosine kinase linked receptor, and type 4 intracellular receptor. Very important. You have to memorize this one, and including the examples. You will be asking it very well in the exam. This classification is very important. Then function classification of receptor like regulatory receptor, what acquires hormones, neurotransmitter, enzyme, Rupert decarboxylase enzyme, then acetylcholinesterase enzyme, transport protein like sodium potassium ATPase, the membrane receptor for like the drug digoxin, then structural protein, tubulin is the receptor for anti-inflammatory drug such as colchicine. These are the functional classification of the receptor. Then most important another one is concept of agonist, antagonist, partial agonist, and inverse agonist. Concept of agonist, antagonist, partial agonist, and inverse agonist. What happens when we give the drug binds with the specific receptor, and the interaction occur. This is called drug receptor interaction or drug receptor complex. This drug receptor complex mostly reversible. In some cases, it is irreversible. So a chain of events occurs as a result of drug receptor complex. Number one, drug action occurs. Then after finishing the action, then the drug receptor complex breakdown. And receptor is ready for further reception. So breakdown drug and become drug and receptor is again ready for the further reception. So you know drug, if we uh, suppose D drug, we can say drug for D and receptor for R. They are the complex for form is drug receptor complex. And after getting the effect or response, there is the separation of the drug and separation of the receptor. These receptor and by chemical bonds, the drug bind with the receptor by chemical bonds. Two types of chemical bonds. Number one is weak bond, and number two is covalent bond. I told you earlier, the drug receptor interaction are mostly reversible, but you see here the drug receptor interaction are irreversible due to what? Due to covalent bond or strong bond, and the weak bond which is reversible. The bond is reversible. Higher concentration of agonist competitively replace the antagonist. We'll discuss what is agonist, what is antagonist. Short duration in case of weak bond, and bond energy is low. Bond energy is low. Covalent bond, the very strong bond. Bond is irreversible. Higher concentration of antagonist cannot displace agonist. Long duration, bond energy is like 100 calorie per mole. Example like organophosphorus compound, phosphocholinesterase. So these are to remember. The one is weak bond and another one is covalent bond. Weak bond the reversible and covalent bond is irreversible. Now what is agonist? Very very important for the exam. You will be asked invariably in the exam. What is agonist? What is antagonist? What is partial agonist? And what is inverse agonist with example? Very very important. Remember. What happened when a drug? Now we'll like to discuss with agonists. Remember, agonist, antagonist, partial agonist, and inverse agonist. Now, what is agonist? The drug that binds with the receptor and produce specific pharmacological response. Pharmacological response or effects is known as agonist. Understand? The drug binds the receptor and produce specific pharmacological response or effect is called agonist. Agonist has both affinity and efficacy to the receptor. For example, acetylcholine is a muscarinic receptor agonist. Salbutamol, the drug used for the treatment of bronchial asthma. This salbutamol is agonist for beta-2 receptor. So agonist has intrinsic activity, the ability of the drug once bind to activate the receptor. Their intrinsic activity is one. Now, what is affinity? What is efficacy? We'll be discussing later on in details. Just what is affinity? It is the tendency of the drug to bind with the receptor. It is called affinity. Efficacy is the capacity of a drug to produce a maximum effect. Understand? It is the capacity of a drug to produce a maximum effect. Efficacy. And what is potency? Potency refers to the concentration or dose of a drug required to produce 50% of that drug's maximal effect. So this is the definition of affinity, efficacy, potency. You have to understand this one. So this is the discussion for agonist. So what about against? You see, the drug bind with the receptor and produce specific pharmacological response. It is called agonist. Agonist has both what? Remember two things, both affinity and efficacy for the receptor. Agonist has both affinity and efficacy to the receptor. Now look, this is the picture. Effective concentration, potency, effective concentration 15. Look, A, B, C, D drug, and the response. You see the response A, B, C, D, E response. You see the response. Now the antagonist. Remember the agonist, the both affinity and efficacy. Here what happened? Look, a drug that binds with the specific receptor and does not produce any response. Rather, it may hinder the action of agonist. It is known as antagonist. What happened over there? The drug binds the receptor, does not produce any response. Does not produce any response. Here, antagonist has affinity, but no efficacy to the receptor. Here, what happened? Antagonist has the affinity, but no efficacy to the receptor. Here, intensity activity is 0, whereas agonist linkage receptor was 1. For example, like atropine is an antagonist of muscarinic receptor. Later, what is atropine? And then propranolol is an antagonist for beta receptor. You know in details about propranolol. These are the drugs, important drug. You have to memorize the example. Then the partial agonist. What we know about that? The drug that binds with specific receptor and evokes weak response. Remember, weak response. But in presence of a potent agonist, it acts as an antagonist, known as partial agonist. Here, intensity activity is less than 1. For example, nalorphine, acebutolol, pindolol, nalorphine, acebutolol, pindolol, nalorphine, acebutolol, and pindolol. So, we know by this time agonist, we know by this time the antagonist, we know by this time the partial agonist. Now, what is inverse agonist? What is inverse agonist? A drug that binds with the receptor and produces opposite pharmacological response. Look, this produces response, but just not the desired response. It produces opposite pharmacological response. Either bind the receptor, but produce opposite pharmacological response. For example, beta carbolines is an inverse agonist to the benzodiazepine receptor. You will know later on what is benzodiazepine receptor when we teach you the drug acting on the CNS. You know in details about the benzodiazepine and beta carbolines. Now the mechanism of drug action is the drugs produce action by two mechanisms. One is non-specific mechanism. Another one is specific mechanism. Very important, remember for the exam. Specific mechanism and non-specific mechanism. What is the non-specific mechanism? Drug produces action without binding to any component of the cell. Remember, drug produces response without binding any component of cell, like cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, nothing. Yeah, the drug produces response without binding any component of cell, like physical means chemical interaction, altering physiochemical properties of cell, and specific mechanism. Drugs produce action by binding to a component cell. I showed you earlier the classification receptor over there, the cell, some receptor even in the cell membrane. some receptor remain in the nucleus, some receptor remain in the cytoplasm. So, like physical means produce action by physical interaction, like magnesium sulfate, mannitol. Magnesium sulfate, mannitol. This causes what? Increased peristalsis, which stimulate defecation. So, if we give magnesium sulfate, it causes by physical means it produces defecation. So, the patient suffering from constipation, we can give this drug. Then chemical interaction, chemical interaction like maybe neutralization, chelation, or anticoagulation. Neutralization, like as for example, we have been suffering from peptic ulcer disease. Here we use the antacid, like magnesium hydroxide, and in the stomach remains hydrochloric acid. So the magnesium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid make a reaction, and ultimately what happens? Neutralization of hydrochloric acid. So you can treat the patient by giving the antacid, and it acts as neutralization of the hydrochloric acid. Then chelation, antacid plus tetracycline. If we give antacid and tetracycline simultaneously, there is the chelation of tetracycline. We know details about tetracycline. We know due to the antimicrobials. What happened? Decrease absorption of tetracycline. By this time about absorption. So if you give antacid and tetracycline at a time, what happened? Decrease absorption of tetracycline. Tetracycline absorption will be decreased. So what happened? You have to give the drug 2 hours after meal or 2 hours after before meal. You can give the drug simultaneously. Then anticoagulation, sodium citrate, if react with it is with calcium, what happened? Calcium complex. This calcium complex prevent coagulation. So chemical interaction like it may be neutralization, it may be chelation, it may be anticoagulation. Then what are the physiochemical properties of cell? Like general anesthetics, what is general, we will discuss later on when we teach you the drug acting on the central nervous system. General anesthetics, the drugs, we operate the patient. The what happens? General anesthetics, they enter in the brain and attain a critical concentration within or around the cell and inhibit the cytoplasmic streaming movement of cell temporarily and thus prevent the activity of cell for temporary period. This leads to anesthesia of the patient. Anesthesia of the patient. Patient becomes senseless. Reversible. So this is with general anesthetics acts by altering the physiochemical properties of cell. Now, what is first messengers and what is second messengers? What is first messengers and what is second messengers? To understand, now we have already finished about the non-specific drug action. This means our drug can bind with the receptor. Now, we'll discuss the mechanism, specific mechanism of drug action. So, if you like to discuss the specific mechanism of drug action, we have to know what is first messengers, what is second messengers, what is first messengers, and what is second messengers. What is first messengers and what is second messenger? In the first messenger is what? Drug itself is a first messenger, or neurotransmitters, or hormones, protocoids. They are the first messengers. So when the first messenger, now this what is second messenger? When the first messenger binds to its specific receptor, the drug receptor complex is formed. The drug binder receptor, drug receptor complex, by this time. Ultimately, what happens? Which subsequently causes the synthesis and release of another intracellular regulatory molecules. These termed as second messengers. First what happened? First the first messenger binds with the receptor, specific receptor, and the drug receptor complex is formed. This drug receptor complex subsequently for synthesis and release of another intracellular regulatory molecules from second messenger. This is called second messenger. As for example, cyclic adenosine monophosphate, by this time, cyclic guanosine monophosphate, then inositol triphosphate, and diacylglycerol. This is very important. This is very important. So, what is the first messenger in the drug itself? Neurotransmitters, hormones, or outer parts. What is second messenger? The example like cyclic adenosine monophosphate, cyclic guanosine monophosphate, then inositol triphosphate, then diacylglycerol, and ionized calcium. And the second, I told you earlier, the classification of according to signal transduction mechanism. The second one was G protein. G protein. The G protein can activate ion channel without activating second messenger. Now, the specific mechanism of action, type 1, by this time, the type 1 or ligand gated ion channel. What happened over there? The drug, the drug ligand or lower ligand, that is, I told you earlier, the drug or hormone or neurotransmitter binds with the ion channel. Ion channel, it may be sodium channel, potassium channel, calcium channel. The drug binding the channel. And it requires what? Binding the, if one of the drug bind with the channel, there is the opening of the gate. Opening of the channel, opening of the gate. Like sodium channel, potassium channel, calcium channel, like that. Ultimately, what happened? NTF ions. And the ions enter into the cell. And here, two things may be occur. Either one may be hyperpolarization or depolarization. Hyperpolarization or depolarization. And ultimately, what happened? We get the cellular effect or pharmacological effect. We get the pharmacological effect. This is very important. The example is very, very important. You have to memorize the example like nicotinic acetylcholine receptor is the example of type 1 receptor or ligand gated ion channel. Gamma amino butyric acid type A. The gamma amino butyric acid is another is type A and type B. Here the type A is the example of type 1 or ligand gated ion channel. Then glycine receptor. Then the type 2 in the G protein coupled receptor. Type 2 G protein coupled receptor. G protein coupled receptor. G protein coupled receptor, which one is GTP binding. GTP binding signal transducer protein. It is GTP binding signal transducer protein. It is called G protein. So it is type 2 or G protein coupled receptor, also known as metabotropic or 7 transmembrane spanning. 7 transmembrane spanning. Span a cell in 7 times. That's why it is called 7 transmembrane spanning or serpentine receptors. So the name of type 2 receptor or G protein coupled receptor. Membrane receptor coupled to intracellular receptor effector system by G protein. Location is third cytoplasmic loop between transmembrane region 5 and 6. Example of type 2 receptor is the muscarinic acetylcholine receptor and adrenergic receptor alpha and beta receptor. And adrenergic receptor alpha and beta receptor. You see the serpentine of the 7 transmembrane spanning. Look, you see that. You see what they are: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The spanning over there, inside to outside. The drug by agonist drug bind with the receptor. This is the G protein coupled receptor. Remember, drug bind with the agonist drug bind with the G protein coupled receptor with the 7 transmembrane shape. Then here GTP binding type of G protein, GTP binding signal transient protein is maybe GS when activated by drug receptor interaction stimulate adenylyl cyclase, and GI inhibit adenylyl cyclase, and GQ when stimulated by drug receptor interaction activate phospholipase C enzyme, and GO that inhibit calcium channel. Let us later. Now what happened over there? Mechanism of cycle of its mechanism of mechanism action of the G protein act or cycle of G protein is called cycle of G protein. Earlier I told you two things. One is inositol triphosphate. Another one is I told you the diacylglycerol. Remember, these will come over here. Look, what happened over there? Drug receptor interaction occur. This drug receptor interaction activates G protein, and alpha GDP is separated from the beta gamma subunit, and alpha GDP replace alpha GTP. So what happened? Activate form. These are active form. Alpha GTP is the active form. It activates enzyme, two enzyme, either adenylyl cyclase, told you earlier, or phospholipase C. Two things will occur over there. If adenylyl cyclase is activated, then what happened? And if phospholipase C is activated, what happened? Remember what happened? Two things I'll discuss later on. So look again. The drug receptor interaction occurred there, activate G protein, and ultimately formation of alpha GTP. It is active form. This alpha GTP activate either adenylyl cyclase or phospholipase C. Now we see if it activate adenylyl cyclase, what happened over there? Look the cycle of G protein. Look. Look, cycle of G protein. Agonistic drug bind the receptor and the GTP. Alpha GTP is the active form. We get the effect response. So what happened over there? If adenylyl cyclase is activated, what happened? ATP is triphosphate converted into cyclic MP, which activates cyclic ADP monophosphate dependent protein kinase or a kinase. And ultimately, protein for phosphorylation occur cellular action. Yeah, cellular action or pharmacological effect, pharmacological response. Understand? Or when it activates phospholipase C, when the phospholipase C is activated, then what happened? Two things happen over there. One, in case of number one, the formation of, I told you earlier, inositol triphosphate. And number two is another one is formation of diacylglycerol. So in case of, if we activate phosphatidyl inositol biphosphate, remember, PIP2, then formation of inositol triphosphate. Release calcium, this inositol triphosphate first release calcium from the storage, and this calcium binds with the calcium binding protein, it is called calmodulin, and this formation of calcium calmodulin complex is formed, which regulates the activities of the cellular dependent protein kinase and produce cellular action. Understand? Now, if we activate the phosphatidyl inositol biphosphate, formation of diacylglycerol. I told you earlier, first is inositol triphosphate formation. Another one is next diacylglycerol. Diacylglycerol activates what? Protein kinase C. And phosphatidyl protein produces the cellular action. It's very important how the G protein couple act, mechanism action of G protein or cycle of G protein. Cycle of G protein. Cycle of G protein. Then type 3, no? Single transition mechanism. Number type 3 is tyrosine kinase link receptor. It is little bit complex. We will discuss later in details. Here in the tyrosine kinase intrinsic to receptor and Janus kinase mediator receptor, which is not intrinsic to receptor. Not intrinsic to receptor. Janus kinase. Are cytoplasmic tyrosine kinases. Number one is tyrosine kinase intrinsic to receptor. Intrinsic to receptor, look, tyrosine kinase. These receptors are polypeptides consisting of an extracellular drug binding domain, and cytoplasmic enzyme binding domain, two domain. These two domains are connected by transmembrane polypeptide chain like insulin, example insulin. So tyrosine kinase integrin receptor, example of the insulin. Very important, you have to remember. Then Janus, this mechanism, how this occur? The drug receptor interaction occur, receptor dimerization of occurs, active state, phosphophosphorylation of the tyrosine kinase at cytoplasmic domain of receptor, activation of the tyrosine kinase, and phosphorylate other substrate protein in the cytoplasm leading to cellular action. We'll discuss later in important details when we teach you the endocrine pharmacology. So these are the short consequence. And the Janus kinase, these are the cytoplasmic tyrosine kinases. Janus kinase means what? These are the cytoplasmic tyrosine kinases that participate in the action signaling of a broad range of cellular surface receptor. Here what happened? Receptor mechanism closely resembles that the receptor tyrosine kinase. But in this case, the protein kinase activity is not intrinsic to the receptor. For example, cytokines, growth hormone. It's a bit complex, like drug interaction occur, but they are receptor dimerization occurs, active state, mobile protein, JAKs bind to receptor, Janus kinase receptor binds. Then phosphorylation of the Janus kinase and receptor occurs, phosphorylation and binding of state occur, dimerization of the state occurs, and then state dimer dissociates, travel to the nucleus and regulates specific gene transcription. We'll discuss later on in details about when we teach you the endocrine pharmacology. Now the type 4, in the last one, is intracellular receptor or DNA linked receptor or control of DNA transcription. Remember, type 4 synonym is intracellular receptor or DNA linked receptor or control of DNA transcription. I told you earlier the example, the type 4, which one is uh, thyroid receptor, the glucocorticoid. Such a steroid receptor, look, in the cytoplasm, and triiodothyronine T3 receptor in the nucleus. I told you earlier the type receptor 4, either the receptor may be inside the cell, and intracellular receptor, they may be in the cytoplasm or in the nucleus. So we will discuss later. You understand, but not little bit into the cytoplasmic receptor are bind to the heat shock protein HSP90 when the drug binds the receptor HSP90 separated from the receptor. Drug receptor interaction occur leading to dimerization of the receptors in cytoplasm. Receptor complex enters in the nucleus and binds the response element, the target DNA site of the DNA, and transcription occur. Messenger RNA in the cytoplasm and protein synthesis occur, and ultimately cellular action. This is a short, in a short, the mechanism of type 4 receptor. You know, in details, I told you when we did the teach you the endocrine pharmacology over there. The look, the ligand binding domain, HSP90, steroid bind with the look, HSP90, transcription activating domain, and DNA binding domain over there. Alter transcription of specific gene. Alter transcription of specific gene. Alter transcription of specific gene. We'll discuss in details later. Now, if we see the mechanism of action, like what the mechanism of receptor, type of receptor according to signal transduction mechanism, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, the comparison, location, effector, coupling, time scale, example, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Look, type 1, location cell membrane, type 2 cell membrane, type 3 cell membrane, and type 4 intercellular, either in nucleus or cytoplasm. Effector is what? Effector is ion channel or enzyme, tyrosine kinase, like gene transcription over there. Then coupling, direct, indirect via G protein. About the types in the direct, and type 4 is indirect via DNA. And time scale, millisecond, very short acting, millisecond, type 2 is second, type 3 minutes to hours, and type 4 look hours. Long duration of action. Long duration of action. An example of that type 1 is nicotine histagon receptor, type 2 is muscarinic histagon receptor, and type 3 is insulin receptor, and type 4 is steroid receptor. Look, very, very important. So these are the important class, very important class for you. The this mechanism of action, the comparison of type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Understand? Location, effector, coupling, time scale, and example. Type 1 receptor remains in the cell membrane, type 2 cell membrane, type 3 cell membrane, type 4 intercell. An effector in the ion channel, type 2 ion channel or enzyme, the type 2 is the G14, and type 3 the enzyme tyrosine kinase, and type 4 gene transcription, gene transcription, gene transcription, gene transcription, and coupling, direct, modifying ion channel, sodium channel or potassium channel or calcium channel like. Indirect, type 3 act indirectly by binding with G14, G14, G14 binding protein G14, and type 3 is direct, and type 4 is indirect via DNA, and time scale it acts shortly in millisecond, and type 2 it acts like seconds, and type 3 in the minutes to hour, and type 4 the long duration action hours. And example in type 1 is nicotinic nicotinic receptor, type 2 is muscarinic nicotinic receptor, and type 3 is insulin receptor, and type 4 is steroid receptor. So these are the short discussion on the these thermodynamics. Next class, we like to know what are the factors modifying drug action. Next class, we discuss what are the factors modifying drug action, and factors modifying drug action. Over here, we'll discuss like the factors that modify the mechanism of drug action. Like the factors may be personal factor, it may be environmental factor, it may be immunological factor, it may be genetic factor, it may be miscellaneous factors, maybe miscellaneous factor. So the factors we'll discuss later on. These the factors modifying drug action. Then, if we get time, we'll discuss the posology. Then we'll discuss posology. Posology, what is posology? It is the branch of medical science which deals with the dose. We give the drug in the dose. Posology. Next,
Next slide.
so the we'll discuss later on these personal factor, factors they modify the mechanism of action of drug. All these things we'll discuss later on. So far for today, thank you very much. I hope you are keeping well. Stay at home and see you the next time. Thank you very much. আমরা আমরা দেখা যান না তো